all. Today we'll be discussing about scheduling algorithms. Among the various available algorithms, the first and the foremost that we'll be studying is FCFS. FCFS stands for first come first serve. There are two criteria that would be considering in this particular algorithm, and that is the process and as well as the burst time. So let us try to assume there are three different processes, P1, P2 and P3. Let me assume that P1 requires 24 milliseconds of burst time and P2 requires 3 milliunits of burst time, and P3 requires 3 milliseconds of burst time. First we'll be writing the Gantt chart. So in order to write the Gantt chart, first I'll be writing a rectangle box. So P1 is allocated. It starts at 0th location and completes its task at 24 milliseconds. And again P2 is selected and assigned the CPU. It completes its task at 27 milliseconds. And then P3 is allotted the CPU and it completes its task at 30 milliseconds. Now in order to evaluate this performance of this particular algorithm, we need to find out the average waiting time of FCFS. So what is the waiting time of P1? The waiting time of P1 to get the CPU is 0 plus the waiting time for P2 in order to get the CPU is 24. So plus similarly for P3 it is 27. Whole thing divided by 3, which comes to around 17 milliseconds. This is the average waiting time of FCFS. Now let us try to shuffle this processes in while allocation. So again I'll write a rectangle box. So in this case, let me assume that P2 is allotted first. So at 0 and 3 it completes its task, and then P3 is allotted the CPU, and again at 6 it completes its task, and then P1 is allocated, so it completes its task at 30. Now let me find out the average waiting for this. So the average waiting for P1 is 6. The average waiting for P2 is 0 plus the average waiting for P3 is 3. Whole thing divided by 3, it gives you 3 milliseconds. Now we can't always say that FCFS is the best, but in some cases yes, of course this particular algorithm can be employed. And here let us try to understand the merits and demerits. The merits is it's very simple and it's very easy to implement. Now when I come to the demerits of this algorithm, here it involves the convoy effect. Now what is this convoy effect? The convoy effect is very simple, that is process which is big in size, that is it requires a large process time or burst time. If it is allotted first, then remaining smaller burst time process has to wait. This results in lower CPU utilization as well as device utilization. So these are the things that you have to cover if anything is asked based on scheduling algorithms, that is FCFS, that is first come first serve algorithm. Thank you.